While most of you were sleeping, a report came out from Adrian Wojnarowski of ESPN stating that James Harden has been traded from the Philadelphia 76ers to the Los Angeles Clippers. And in that, James Harden, along with PJ Tucker, will go to LA for Nicholas Batum, Marcus Morris, Robert Covington, KJ Martin, that's the son of Kenyon Martin, and draft picks. Now, if you follow my channel for any length of time, you know how I feel about this guy. He is a regular season phenomenon. But as I always say, you make your money in the regular season, you make your legacy in the postseason. And James Harden's legacy in the postseason leaves lots to be desired. It just does. When things don't go his way, when the crapper goes south, he wants out. We've seen this play out in Houston. We've seen this play out in Brooklyn. And now we've seen this play out in Philadelphia. It's the same old song and dance. And now you're in a situation where James Harden is on his third stint along with Russell Westbrook. Because remember, they were teammates in OKC, they were teammates in Houston. And now they're teammates once again on the Clippers, along with Kawhi Leonard and Paul George. So Daryl Morey got fleeced. He got nothing out of that deal. Nothing. Meanwhile, you're on a very top-heavy Clippers team to where Kawhi Leonard and Paul George can opt out after this season. James Harden is on an expiring contract and cannot be re-signed. And Ty Lue is basically coaching for his job. Because if this don't work, if the Clippers do not win the championship or at the very least get to the NBA Finals, this whole shebang is going to get blown up. There's going to be a very deep house cleaning at the hands of Steve Ballmer. That means Lawrence Frank is out of there, Ty Lue's out of there, everybody that's in the scouting department's out of there. It's going to be a thorough house cleaning. Now, this is the thing. Harden don't have to score the ball like that. He don't have to score the ball like that. You got Kawhi Leonard and Paul George that can score the basketball. So, where does that leave guys like Russell Westbrook that's coming off the bench? Bones Highland, a guy who was traded from the Denver Nuggets to the LA Clippers. You know, Bones Highland been wanting a bigger role. And then on top of that, PJ Tucker, who's been playing a hefty amount of minutes his whole career, whether it be in Phoenix, Toronto, Milwaukee, Houston, Philadelphia. Where that's going to leave him? Sure, he's going to come off the bench, and he's probably going to play a lesser role off the bench. So his playing time is significantly impacted, right? And then you go to a guy like Terrence Mann, because the Clippers were very adamant about not trading Terrence Mann. They gave up everybody else. They gave up Marcus Morris, Nick Batum, Robert Covington. Morris was, basically a physical guy that was shooting the ball. Nicholas Batum was a versatile defender and a floor spacer. Robert Covington was another defensive guy that they had too. And then KJ Martin, which I don't think the Philadelphia 76ers is going to keep. I think they're going to end up waiving him, but he was an energy player whenever he got court time. The 76ers basically did an addition by subtraction in getting rid of James Harden. They don't need him. Let's just keep this 100. The Sixers do not need James Harden. They got a capable scorer in Tyrese Maxey. This opens things up for Tobias Harris. He's a capable scorer. You got the reigning MVP in Joel Embiid. And then you got some complementary pieces there. They don't need James Harden. If anything, James Harden holds them back, as he displayed the 2 years he was there. So, the backstory. 10-time All-Star James Harden, named the 2018 MVP of the NBA, brings the career averages of close to 25 a game with 7 assists to LA. He led the league in assists per game in last year in his first full season with the 76ers after arriving in Philadelphia from a trade in Brooklyn at the 2022 trade deadline. That was the infamous Ben Simmons trade, right? Oh, last night Ben Simmons actually had a double-double. This is Ben Simmons' second straight double-double that he had this year already. We only played like 3 or 4 games. Ben Simmons already got 2 double-doubles. So there's some, you know what? Before I really go on the parade for Ben Simmons, but he has made improvements. I got to give him that. His rebounding is there. He's shooting the ball a little bit more. He's actually scored in double figures for the second straight game. But we'll talk about that. We'll talk about Ben Simmons in another video. The Clippers will make the 4th team Harden has played with since forcing his way out of Houston in 2021. So from 2021 to 2023, this man has played on his 4th team. They're really trying to make the NBA Finals. Now, I don't know if these new Fire Clippers fans, because, I'm pretty sure there's some James Harden fans out there, right, that will all of a sudden become Clippers fans now. But everything seems rosy now because this train is never late when it comes to James Harden. I caution all you Clippers fans out there, before you get excited, before you start screaming championship and all that other stuff, I caution y'all. We've seen this movie before. Matter of fact, this movie has been played multiple times in multiple cities. Do not, and I mean do not, fall in love with this man. Because this man will forsake you when you need him most. What's up, Terry Smoot? Everybody up in the building, hit that like button. Hit the like button. Don't be cheap. Hit the like button. You come in here, hit the like button. Or you can just leave like one person did. This man will put on Houdiniac when you need him most. I'm trying to tell y'all, before y'all hit y'all wagons to this dude, I'm telling you, don't fall in love with this man. Don't do it. This man was in Brooklyn with KD and Kyrie Irving, and look how that folded. Injuries, inconsistent play. Kyrie going on sabbaticals, and you get nothing from Brooklyn. It was a disaster in Brooklyn. It was one of the biggest what ifs or what could have been in the history of the NBA. So he goes to Philadelphia, reunites with, best friends forever, and Daryl Morey from their time in Houston. They teamed up with Joel Embiid. It was going to be the Houston Rockets or the Houston 76ers or the Philadelphia Rockets, whatever make your biggest sizzle. That's what they were trying to do out there and got them going Philly. It looked good. Harden took a pay cut in free agency. They brought in PJ Tucker. They brought in Daniel House. And that kind of tampering got them a second round pick. And it also got them a second round exit in the NBA playoffs. Which then in turn eventually got Doc Rivers fired. So Harden thought he was going to get a payday from Daryl Morey. Remember, he took that pay cut. He thought he was going to get a max contract. But as I always said, I think that the Sixers organization told Daryl Morey that you will not give James Harden a max contract. I think the ownership specifically told Daryl Morey that Daryl Morey, you will not give James Harden no max contract. And this is when the bloom came off the rose for James Harden. James Harden starts going this thing about how he will never play for the 76ers organization again, that Daryl Morey is alive. This man did that out in China, of all places. Remember that Adidas event they had out in China? And James Harden sat up there, it's like, oh, Daryl Morey's a liar, and I will never ever play for the 76ers ever again. Well, James Harden made good on that promise. He made good on it. He showed up when he had to show up. The bypass, the use a loophole within the rules, so that way he don't get fined and they don't dock his rights and all that, or they don't hold on to his rights and all that. And James Harden showed up when he had to show up, and then when those obligations were met, James Harden was gone. He was out in Houston doing whatever with whoever, at a club, at a strip club, at a wherever, right? This man don't want to be great. Now he's going to go on this goddamn Clippers team, and he's going to do, as soon as things don't go his way, watch what I tell you. It's going to be the same old song and dance. Y'all remember when Russell Westbrook and James Harden were teammates out in Houston? Russell Westbrook didn't want nothing to do with this guy. This guy was showing up late to meetings. This guy was being unprofessional at the titty bar all the time. Russell Westbrook didn't want nothing to do with this guy. But here they are, yet again, teammates. Because if the first two times didn't tell you what the fuck will happen when these two was on the team at the same time, then, hey, I guess there was like third time's going to be a charm, right? Third time's a charm because we got a better coach, we got better players, and we're going to take this thing all the way. But as I said again, when you Clippers fans start talking this shit about championship, that this is definitely the year we're going to go all the way. Remember, Kawhi Leonard got an injury history. Paul George has an injury history. James Harden has a history of not showing up when it matters most. Russell Westbrook, coming off the bench, we know he can't shoot. We know he's a poor decision maker. So is this really going to be a championship year for the Clippers? Let's not start jumping on the bandwagon all of a sudden now that this move has happened. We got a lot of elements in play here. How are they going to coexist? Because you know Kawhi Leonard's not going to play some games. You know Paul George's not going to play some games. You're going to have some disgruntled players in the locker room, like Bones Highland. I wouldn't be surprised if Bones Highland wants out of LA, because he's going to want a bigger role. What does that leave Terrence Mann? The guy that, we can't trade Terrence Mann, right? What is going to leave him? That's not his development. Now, last year, they were trying to feature this guy as the primary point guard, right? And when Reggie Jackson was with the Clippers, they prioritized him over Reggie Jackson. Now that James Harden's there, now we're going to relegate Terrence Mann to a lesser role now because James Harden's there. What does that leave Terrence Mann? When things don't go right, watch what I tell you, because it's going to go left. I guarantee you, things are going to go left. And see, I was going to talk about Tim Donaghy going on DJ Vlad and basically out in the NBA as far as like preferential treatment to certain players. That was going to be in my original video today. I wake up at 3 o'clock in the morning when I was watching Loki and find out that James Harden got traded in the middle of the night to the goddamn LA Clippers. And the thing about it was, James Harden and the NBA and the Philadelphia 76ers was being investigated by the NBA because James Harden was supposed to be on the court for a nationally televised game against the Milwaukee Bucks. And he didn't play that game. Matter of fact, the team sent him home. So the NBA was going to investigate James Harden and 76ers about that. Then we get this news today on Halloween. Scary thought. But any of you Clippers fans that happen to watch this video, just know, before you start doing ticker tape parade or making ticker tape parade plans, I would caution you to temper expectations. Now, we only in the first week of the NBA season, and we get this news about James Harden, right? So, look, I caution y'all once again, don't start making championship parade plans right now. Now, let's take a trip down memory lane. Let's take a trip down memory lane, right? Because I want to provide context, and I don't want to leave nothing undone. So let's talk about this timeline between James Harden and the 76ers, right? So back in August, the 10-time All-Star called the Sixers president of basketball operation Daryl Morey a liar while speaking at an event in China. The NBA launched an inquiry into Harden's comments in which he referred to Morey as saying that Harden would be traded quickly and fined him $100,000 for the public trade demands, because when they signed the new collective bargaining agreement, there was this whole thing to where players could not publicly come out and make trade demands. The Players Association will file a grievance later on saying that, well, basically they filed the grievance regarding the discipline, right? The Players Association did that, right? And then a month later, James Harden was a no-show at the Sixers Media Day. So back in 2022, I talked about the pay cut that brought in. I talked about the pay cut, right? That same year, where Ben Simmons was traded to the Brooklyn Nets, right? Harden takes a $15 million pay cut. And it came on a 2-year deal that includes a player option in the second year. So Harden opted out of the $47.5 million player option the week prior to return to the Sixers on a contract that gave the team financial flexibility to bolster his roster. This is where the signing of PJ Tucker and Daniel House comes in. Now, mind you, that year they got eliminated by the Miami Heat in that infamous Game 6. And that Game 6, James Harden was a complete fucking no-show. I remember that because that particular day I was going off. I was doing laundry and I was going off on my cell phone about how much this man was a goddamn fraud. Yes, James Harden, you're a fraud! Big fraud! Man. So back in June 2023, Harden opts to work towards a trade, because you fast forward this porno flick a year, Sixers get bounced in the second round, Doc Rivers gets fired, the organization told Daryl Morey that they will not give James Harden a max contract. James Harden gets pissed saying that, oh, Daryl Morey is a liar, he'll never work with him again. And then he opts into the player option to work towards a trade. And this is where the LA Clippers come in, because James Harden is from, I believe he's from LA. The Clippers were his preferred destination. The Sixers made it clear throughout the process that the franchise did not see a long-term future with the guard. The Athletic also reported about how James Harden was extremely upset at how the Sixers handled his possible free agency and made his dissatisfaction clear to the organization. Morey said in a local radio interview that he was trying to honor Harden's trade request, but adds, if we don't get either a very good player or something that we can turn into a very good player, then we are just not going to do it. Yeah, And when have we ever believed God dang on the words that came out Daryl Morey's mouth? Considering that when Daryl Morey was the general manager out in Houston, and he went on the Dan Patrick show, it was like, because there was trade speculations going on in Houston regarding the players on that team that particular year, back about 2018, 2019. They just came off a year where they lost to the Golden State Warriors again, and they were looking to make changes. Maybe it might be 2019, 2020, or whatever. But he went on the Dan Patrick show and said that everybody was tradable except for Chris Paul and James Harden. 2 weeks later, Chris Paul gets traded to OKC for Russell Westbrook. So you think I'm going to believe anything that came out the mouth of Daryl Morey? This was the same Daryl Morey that was saying James Harden was the greatest scorer in NBA history. Better than Michael Jordan, better than Kobe Bryant. This man was the greatest scorer in NBA history, but he finds a way to shit the bed in Game 6, but this is the greatest scorer in the NBA. Daryl Morey, woo! Anyway, had to calm down a little bit. Anyway, he says that the reality is if we do look at a trade, it's going to be for one of two things. Either it's going to be a player who continues to help us be right there like they were last year, up 3-2 on the Boston Celtics. Obviously didn't get it done, but James was a big part of why we got the 3-2. Yeah, and he was the obvious reason why you didn't win the series either, Daryl Morey. Or if we're going to do this for something where we get enough draft picks and things like that in the deal, such then we can turn those players into a player who could be a running mate with Joel Embiid. In discussing with Harden's reasoning for wanting out, Morey said Harden is wishing for a different contract situation. Yeah, he's trying to get broke off because y'all wouldn't pay him, so he's looking for somebody that's going to pay him. The problem with this is he's 34 years old with declining skill set, and he has drama on his name. So you got a mid-30s player who's declining in skill set because at this point, with James Harden, as long as James Harden been in the league, there's no upside at this point. It's downside from here. It's clearly downside. It would be injuries, inconsistent play. They need to get some big titties in his face on a random night, right? And then he's coming in with that sticky titty milk on his beard, playing like shit. Because I guarantee you, that train is never late. James Harden is going to disappoint you when it matters most. I know a lot of people out there can't seem to grasp that concept, but if you look at what happened in Houston, you look at what happened in Brooklyn, if you look at what happened in Philadelphia, hell, well, you can't really put the OKC thing on him because he was coming off the bench in OKC. But even then, he's had games when he was coming off the bench at OKC as the sixth man, where he put on Houdiniacs. This is him. This is who he is. This is the tiger that's gonna be purring around y'all goddamn cage and shit. Because tigers don't change their stripes. August 12th, the Sixers decided to end trade talks on Harden, planning for him to be in the upcoming training camp. However, a source close to Harden reiterates that the former MVP can no longer wants to play for Philadelphia and has no plans to take part in camp. Harden's side expressed a belief that there would be meaningful developments regarding a trade before then. August 14, 2023, James Harden called Daryl Morey a liar. A couple days after Philadelphia ended the trade talks, Harden blasted Morey while speaking at an event in China as part of a marketing tour for Adidas. Daryl Morey's a liar and I will never be part of that organization again. He told a crowd in front of numerous cameras. Let me say that again. Daryl Morey is a liar and I will never be part of the organization that he's part of. He doubled down on his sentiment a few days later in an interview with KHOU 11 News Houston, telling the outlet that he believes that his relationship with Morey and the 76ers is beyond repair. August 19th, NBA launches a probe into James Harden's comments on Daryl Morey. The NBA launched an inquiry surrounding Harden's comments about Morey. Harden told the league investigators he was referring to Morey, telling Harden he would trade him quickly following the player option he opted into for the 23-24 season. 76ers owner Josh Harris said he was working to convince Harden to remain in Philly, but was willing to accommodate what he wants if he and the team don't get Harden to rescind his trade request to the Clippers. August 22nd, the NBA fined James Harden $100,000 for his public trade demands after the league investigation confirmed that Harden's comments on August 14th and August 17th references believed that the 76ers would not trade him. According to Article 6, Section 18 of the league's collective bargaining agreement, Harden broke those rules. The league could only prove it because of his admission during the investigation. The NBA Players Association said that later on it was going to intend to file a grievance regarding the NBA's discipline and intends to have the matter heard by the arbitrator. AD was fined $50,000 in 2019 when his agent Rich Paul publicly discussed the trade request in New Orleans, and Dwayne Dedmon was fined $50,000 for publicly discovering his trade request in Sacramento, serving as more recent examples of that rule. October 2nd, Harden out in Philadelphia for Teams Media Day out in Camden, New Jersey, as he still awaits a trade to the LA Clippers. October 13th, Harden said he wanted to retire as Sixer, but the Philadelphia front office had other plans, and this is where he referred to Daryl Morey as the front office. When asked about whether he thinks his relationship with the 76ers can be repaired, Harden said of him, no. He adds, there's no everybody in this situation. This is in life. When you lose trust in someone, it's like a marriage. When you lose trust in someone, you know what I mean? It's pretty simple. Harden, who's been practicing with the 76ers since the second day of training camp, wants to be traded to the LA Clippers and is slated to become a free agent next summer. He decided to take part in training camp because he remained hopeful that a trade to the Clippers was still in the works and believes for now that it would be wise to not be a distraction. Well, guess what, James Harden? Each day you didn't show up to practice. Each day you didn't play in the game. There's going to be reporters asking Tyrese Maxey, asking Joel Embiid, asking Tobias Harris, asking D'Anthony Melton about you. So yeah, you was going to become a distraction even though you ain't there. Duh! So October 17th, they remain in trade talks. October 18th, this man no-shows the 76ers practice. He ain't been present with the 76ers since October 15th, missing a shooting round and a preseason win against the Brooklyn Nets, after which he did not travel home with the team. And then we get this news at 2 in the morning. People sleeping, sexing, jacking off the fucking porn. Probably working the graveyard shift at your local gas station. That this man got traded to the Clippers and the Clippers gave up next to nothing. They gave up next to nothing. What's up, Alex Heron? The Clippers literally gave up next to nothing. They gave up Robert Covington, not PJ Tucker, Marcus Morris, KJ Martin, a whole bunch of draft picks. And all the Clippers got was James Harden and PJ Tucker, which PJ Tucker is going to be relegated to a bench role. Basically his role is going to get significantly reduced. Terrence Mann's going to come off the bench. Bones Highland is going to be further down the depth chart now. It's going to take injuries by multiple players before Bones Highland see the court now. All because they're trying to acquiesce to this dude. Now, for all you newfound Clippers fans out there, right? Y'all really think this man gonna take y'all to the promised land? This man has shown you when things get tough, he gets the hauling ass. He don't want to be great. Hell, Kobe Bryant told this man years ago when he was on that interview with Rachel Nichols, because Tracy McGrady sat right next to him. He told James Harden specifically that his playing style was not going to win him a championship. Did James Harden listen to that? No, he didn't listen to that. You want to be rock star, lifestyle, might not make it. Right? He's showing that inner Gucci man want to get rock star, lifestyle wasted. He can't win a championship? Well, so the fuck what? I'm going to the titty ball later on that night. That's his stress relief. Big titties, G-strings, and chicken wings. That's right. That's his stress relief. Right there. Hey, I wouldn't be surprised if he met up with Lemon Pepper Lou at Magic City, for crying out loud. Down to good old hot Atlanta. But I'm telling y'all right now, he's not that dude. James Harden ain't built like that. I've been telling people this shit for years, and I get called a hater, and I don't know what the hell I'm talking about, and I'm just out here just talking shit. Told y'all this man ain't the goods. He's not. He's not the goods. And they're on a top-heavy team with a whole bunch of players that injured all the damn time. No chemistry whatsoever. What's up, Think Tank? And it's going to be the same old song and dance with James Harden. Watch what I tell you. He's going to put up some gaudy numbers, and then you're going to have those dimwits at ESPN want to arbitrarily throw Kobe Bryant's name in the same breath as this guy. Do not put Kobe Bryant's name in the same breath as this guy. Remember when they were on that winning streak last year, when him and Joel Embiid was going there beating all those bad teams and shit? And what those dimwits at ESPN did? Oh man, you see the second coming of Shaq and Kobe. Really? Shaq and Kobe? Two notorious playoff choke artists. And you want to put them in the same level as Shaq and Kobe? Get the fuck out of here. These guys have been notorious playoff choke artists. They're sitting up here, nutting up the bed in the playoffs. They're getting these max contracts, getting coaches fired, and yet we're supposed to put them in the same breath as a guy that won 5 NBA championships. Arguably one of the top 5 players dead or alive, and Kobe Bean Bryant. We want to put James Harden in the same breath as get the hell out of here. Hold on, is James Harden the top 75 player? Is James Harden the top 75 player? Hold on. Let me find out. James Harden, top 75 player. Is James Harden the top 75 player? Hold on. Oh, Lord, this man is a top 75 player all time. Oh, Lord have mercy. This man is a top 75 player of all time. James freaking Harden is a top 75 player all time. And you mean to tell me that this man, through all the money he's made, through all the MVPs and all-star selections and all that, and this man is a notorious playoff fucking choke artist, and they, Who did the selection? Who the fuck did the selection? I want to know who in the hell did the selection. So you mean to tell me that this man's a top 75 player, but Alice English not? Even though Dwight Howard like Bussy, but I would put Dwight Howard over James Harden. Oh my. You can't make this shit up. They got James Harden, the top 75 player. And Dwight Howard, even though, look, we don't like Dwight Howard, right? Dwight Howard out here grabbing dick, like Bussy getting butt surgeries and all that. But even then, Dwight Howard is a top, is a top 75 player over James fucking Harden. Oh, Lord. Alice English not even on this list, but James Harden is. What the fuck? Adrian Dantley not on this list, but James Harden is. Oh, Lord Emerson. But this is what the Clippers traded for. Look, Lawrence Frank, if the Clippers don't get this done, this is on you. Lawrence Frank, this on you. This is on you, Lawrence Frank. You're not going to get away with this shit if the Clippers nut this bad in the playoffs. This is on Lawrence Frank. Lawrence Frank, the same Lawrence Frank who was one-time coach of the New Jersey Nets. And this is another thing when it comes to that, right? Lawrence Frank ain't never won no goddamn championship, and yet he got a promotion. This man has been fired in multiple spots. This on you. Lawrence Frank, this on you. This on you. This man was an assistant coach in multiple spots. on New Jersey Nets, couldn't get it done on the New Jersey Nets. They fired his ass from the New Jersey Nets. Went to the Detroit Pistons, coached him for 3 years. The Pistons fired him after the 2013 season. Hell, I was still in the military during that time. Matter of fact, it was during the season he got fired. Matter of fact, they didn't just fire him, they demoted his ass. It's one thing to get fired from someone, but it's a whole other thing to get demoted. You head coach one day, now you assistant coach the next day. Huh. They say Lawrence Frank was demoted, and this reassignment meant that Lawrence Frank would be banned from being on the bench during games and even attending teams' practices. Wow. Lawrence Frank, you're not this shit. You're not this bad. This on you. And I won't be surprised if Steve Ballmer go on a thorough house cleaning after this season here. James Harden already a free agent. He can't be re-signed. He already a free agent after this season. So Lawrence Frank, why the fuck would you trade for this guy? Knowing that this man's a free agent after the season. What are you doing? Paul George contract. Let's see what his contract look like. What Paul George contract look like? He has a player option next year, so he can opt out after this season. Paul George can opt out of his contract after this season. Kawhi Leonard. What Kawhi Leonard contract look like? Kawhi Leonard can opt out after next year too. So you got two guys in Paul George and Kawhi Leonard who can opt out of their contracts after this season. And you got James Harden on an expiring deal. Y'all better win the championship. That's all I'm saying about that. Because if you don't, if y'all not this bad, which I fully expect that you will, because that train is never late, you can rest assured I will be on here cooking y'all asses like y'all was on a goddamn spit. You best believe that shit. You best believe that. Ty Lue, you will not escape this either. You will not escape this if y'all don't get this done. So I understand that we're only 3 games into the season. And I'm going to let this play out. I'm not going to jump to conclusions. I'm not going to be coming on here doing all kind of Clippers videos and all that type of shit. No, I want to sit back and watch this thing play out. I want to watch this thing play out. And if they don't get this done, oh boy, stand by for heavy rolls as the ship comes about. Watch what I tell you. Now, if you're not subscribed to this channel, make sure you hit the subscribe button, hit the like button, and share these videos on your social media platforms. Shouts out to the Mighty Lions Den basketball community. This your man. Scream at me. Oh!